Hello everyone, this is Marco with Accelerate Games, and today I'm bringing to you another episode of Shadow Drill series for UFC 2, and I'm covering the different types of strikes you have in this game. And this game has many different variation of striking, and I'm gonna actually go through the move list real quick to show you how many different types of striking or punches is what I'm gonna be focusing on this video. They have, so of course they have. I'm playing on Xbox One, so the controls are different if you're using PlayStation. So I'm gonna go through real quick. So see how many total: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's about 23 variation of punches. So that's a lot. There's a lot of options, and a lot of these punches are variation, either with the directional input and the button itself, or the directional input and left block, or the input the punch as well as left trigger. And so the most basic punch, of course, is the jab, my favorite. I have it at maxed at level 5. You have the uppercut, which is back X. You have the lead hook, which is forward X. Spin in back fist. And some of these I'm going to go into. You can kind of see the different options because they have different moves you could choose for that button slot. And so like this, you could have like the Superman punch, you have the overhook head. So whichever one you want to choose. So if you see some fighters do something really spiffy, it's in one of these slots. You just have to go in there and see which one it is. And I recommend that if you're playing with the actual UFC fighters, you go in and look at their move list, so you can get more familiar with what big moves they have. Now, usually the more button you have to press to execute a punch, the more damage it does. Now, it doesn't exactly give you it doesn't have like a damage meter to show you how much actual damage it does. I mean, if I find something, I will definitely let you guys know either in the description or in a comment or in a follow-up video just to kind of touch base about most powerful punches. Now, for the most part, these are all either body or head punches, with a few variations here and there. And some of them are tricky in that it looks like you're going high but you're going low. The only punch that is available near the cage is the Superman punch, which it's a great punch, and if you could execute it, that's awesome. So that's the only one but everything else you could execute while standing up. You just have to know what to press, like left trigger, left block, and Y to do this. This is a heavy overhand body shot, and so about over 20 different variations. So get familiar with it. You won't be able to execute all of them at once. You have to kind of figure out what combinations you want. For me, I like to keep things simple, so I focus on like 3 different variations, and then I learn like a few big ones to kind of, put somebody out in case I need to do it. All right, so with that, let's actually hop into the training. So I'm actually going to show you. So in the training, if you notice, if you look at my stats, my punching stats are really high. I'm like 100 in all of them. So I'm going to go through to show you how I got A's in all the quick striking stats for stand-up. Now, as you begin to watch the drills and how I got A in all of them, be sure to keep in mind that the first drills are quick strikes, so your goal is just reaction timing. And as you get better at it, you'll want to be good at countering or pairing that with your parry or your slips, and then following up with a quick reaction. So this is really to test your reaction speed and see how well you're able to follow up, either creating openings with just your reaction or your combos, or following up from parries and slips with your reaction. So keep that in mind. And you always want to think 1, 2, 3 in terms of a combination. In terms of, you want to try to at least hit them 2 to maybe 3 times, because if you string your combination together, as I said in my first video, it does more damage than if you only do 1 punch. If you are going to do just 1 punch from a counter or parry, then it's better to make it a powerful punch, either a uppercut, back X or back Y, or something that it could stagger them a little bit. So that way you at least have some time to follow up again with quick strikes. If you aren't able to do a big powerful strike, then do a 1-2 combo and then back out and then regroup and then go back in and press the action. So keep that in mind when you're trying the different types of follow-up, particularly with quick strikes. And once you get the hang of the quick strikes, and the thing about this drill though is the quick strikes, it also helps with your kicks too, not just your your punches, because this actual drill is for increasing the speed of your punch and kick. But in real matches, you know, mix it up however you see fit or whatever you feel comfortable. Some people like kicks because they do knock out, do get much. Well, a kick to the head is more damaging than a punch to the head, and that goes without saying. So factoring that into your follow up or your counter is something to keep in mind of, particularly if they're about to go down. It might be more advantageous to go for a kick where you could just flat, you know, straight knock them out versus a punch, which might stagger them or it might not.
Let's lay some hands on the heavy bag today. Ooh, nice job.
Now, the heavy bags, which is what we're doing right now, this is where you get good at learning your heavy punches and what does damage and what doesn't. Now, overall, I wasn't able to get A in this one until a little bit later after I maxed up my stats, as well as I added some new moves to my fighter. And the thing about this is that certain moves, when you anti-add it, it does do more damage than if you didn't have that move altogether. So that is something that's going to help in terms of you getting the necessary stats to actually pass this drill. Otherwise, it'll be a bit difficult. And as you get better at stringing your combination together, try stringing your combination where you end it with a heavy power move, which is like what you'll see I'm doing in this drill right now. Because once you master the art of doing your quick punches and ending it with a heavy punch, that is absolutely devastating. I'm going to show you some clips towards the end of this the training where how I get some of the knockouts from stringing my heavy punch combos together. And it's quick punches to heavy punch combo finish is what I try to focus on.
Strikes properly. Don't just throw punches. Good work. That's it right there. You're looking sloppy. Let's pick it up. That's it. That's it. Let's get it. Come on. Here we go. Right there. Just like that. Nice. Perfect. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You are ready.
Now, as you begin to watch the string of fights, I'm going to show you right now where I've set up my combos, and really, the first part right now we're watching right now is mostly just quick combos, which is followed by either two jabs, then a cross, or two jabs and a uppercut, and that's like really the basic stuff that you start out with. The more advanced knockout comes when you hold a left block, which gives you a different set of moves to execute when you press the button, and those actually do the most damage in terms of punches when you use them correctly. And like one of my favorite one is where I do a quick switch to overhand punch, and you'll see that later on in some of the fights. But for the most part, these initial knockouts you'll see when I'm first starting my Ultimate Fighter career, when I'm wearing all the green, they're mostly just quick punches follow-up. And you can see I hit with an uppercut right there, knock her down while she's trying to take me down. I'm going to finish her right now. And the biggest thing to remember is that with your quick punch combos, people are going to try to take you down if you're getting the better of the exchange, because they're worried they might get knocked out. So uppercut, which is a powerful move, and it doesn't need the left block modifier to be executed. That is one of the best moves for knocking people out, especially those who try to wrestle you a lot. And so get good at the uppercut, particularly if you know you're going to go against a wrestler or somebody. And like right now, I'm just doing a straight cross because I seem to be catching her with that, and she went down. And so starting out when I first started my career, I had to use what I had. The only thing I had available really was the cross and uppercut, because you don't have access to a lot of moves. But as I get a little bit further in my career, and towards the end where I'm about to challenge for the championship is when I got some more advanced moveset, and I'm able to mix it up a little bit more. Even able to add a couple cage strikes, which you're going to see in a little bit as I switch from finishing them up to actually graduating and getting a championship in the strawweight division. Now, one of the things you also want to actually add in there is that one of my openings I use is the dash forward to set up my combo like I just did right there. I dash forward and set up my strike, so that's something to factor in when you are doing that, is to incorporate the dash to close the distance so you're able to follow up and actually execute your combos efficiently and timely. Otherwise, it could be a bit difficult to catch people with your combos. So dash in, do the combos, and then I dash out if I have enough stamina. Now, as you begin to watch these series of fights, these are the fights where I actually start to incorporate more of the advanced moveset, which you get access to the advanced move by holding the L block. And you just see I'll start to do like cage strikes where I run off the cage and punch him like right there. I just hit her and then I follow up by knocking her down. And in addition to that, I start to use more of my overhand quick switch strikes, which is almost like a switch foot and then do an overhand strike, and you'll see that a little bit more in addition to like a back spinning fist and some other things. So anything that requires spinning, usually those moves are done with the advanced L block, left block for Xbox. I don't know what it is for PlayStation, but I imagine it's probably L1. But you want to start incorporating those at the end of your combination to do more damage. Again, stringing your combination together does more damage. And then stringing them together with an advanced punch at the end of the string maximizes damage. Now, in certain situations where you aren't able to string combination together and you need to finish them quick, again, advanced moves are the best to do it because they do more damage per punch. But you also have to be aware of your energy meter, or your fatigue meter, or whatever you want to call it. Because the lower your health bar or the lower your stamina, the less effective your punch is. So you don't want to tie yourself out trying to throw all these big bombs and then you aren't able to actually finish the person because you're all out of stamina. So you want to pace yourself. So I usually dash in, hit like a 2, maybe 3 hit combo. If they aren't staggered, then I back out again and recuperate my stamina. However, if I am able to stagger them while I'm executing my 2 or 3 hit combo, then I continue until I try to finish them. So I don't try to go ham, for 10 combos, 10 punch combos in a row. I do 3, 4, maybe the max 5. And if they aren't staggered by then it's a safe bet that they're probably blocking or countering my punches, and I need to back out and regain my stamina. Otherwise, they could capitalize on my fatigue and hit me with a counter punch or a parry punch, and it does enough damage where I don't actually have enough to recuperate. So that's something that you want to factor in when you're actually executing your combo, and in terms of your overall strategy in fighting. And the biggest thing you want to do is make sure that you don't overextend to the point where it's difficult for you to recover. Because at the end of the day, in this game, you could actually lose pretty quick if you go ham and get countered hard, and then you don't have enough stamina to fight from the ground when you're knocked down. So that's something you want to keep in mind. So overall, I hope this helps improve your overall game, your striking game, your punching game. I'm gonna do follow-up videos for Muay Thai as well as kicking, as well as submission, as well as other stuff. Jiu-jitsu, MMA, wrestling. I'm a big fan of that. I do it in real life. So I love that the UFC game and what they've done. And this is definitely the most complete UFC game they've have to date, and I just enjoy going through the different nuances of the different position. I know right now the Muay Thai knee to the face is pretty cheap in the online game mode, but I found a way to stop that too, so you don't get demolished by doing that. So I am going to do a video on that also about clinch defense when you're going to get somebody who keeps over abusing that. All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and please like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Shadow Trails.